let me introduce you to Mr. Lee Jack. Drum roll, please. I'm really going to set something up like on, find some software. Like I think you can use BeLive TV and you can do like intros and things. So we should do some like crowd goes wild and
like massive cheer. Like, come on!
Yeah, or in your instance, bagpipes. Yeah. Lee is not. Lee, are you wearing your kilt for us today?
No, sorry. No, but not today. I should have actually. Oh, never thought of that.
Yeah, you should have.
Next time.
Yeah. So, guys, as you have probably seen from some of the posts we put live, Lee has achieved some amazing feats over the past 8 months or so. Would you say?
January. So 8 months. Just turned 8 months. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Liam, actually, you had a phone call with Liam, didn't you, last November? And you know, we'll dive into in a minute where you were, but you know, the position you were in back then was not a great one. You went through the activation method, attended the Alpha Reset in January. Is that right?
Yep.
That was great seeing you on day 2. That was great.
Yeah, something Arthur will never forget.
That was Arthur's first, right?
Yeah.
Coach.
Yeah. Memorable for me.
Yeah, and then from there, obviously, you've continued in the Brotherhood over the past 7 or 8 months. So, take it away, Lee. Tell the guys a little bit more about where you were, because what I want the guys to take away from this is the mindset shifts that you have experienced that have really created your success. I want them to understand that first and foremost. Any changes to how you now operate your day as well, and how you now operate your company differently, because you're really instilling a great company culture. The business often runs without you, more or less. I think you could probably leave it 99% of the time. And I think, the culture you've got there and, how much your people love you, I think they would completely, skyrocket it still. So let's dive in. So just give the guys a bit of a background as to who you are and where you're from and what brought you into this in the first place.
Sure. I'm 31 years old. I live in the north of Scotland. A couple of years ago, my father had a temporal lobe stroke, and we just started opening up our business. Unknown to all of us, we were in kind of a financial trouble that my father had hidden from all of us. Unfortunately, I delved into the business, hustling and working 60, 70, 80-hour weeks, thinking that I could fix it that way. And I struggled. I really struggled. I was really lost, definitely lost at the start until up to last November. And yeah, I was drained, really, really drained. And I just didn't know what to do in my life. I didn't know where I was going. I couldn't see a path of where I was going or what I wanted to do. And I was really living in the past. I was really, really stuck in my head all the time about if I just work more, do the hours, the money will come, we'll fix this, I can fix everything, I can do that. And then it just didn't happen. It just did not happen. And just by chance, by one day, I liked the Powerful Man post, and I thought, these guys seem like they've got it all together. So I wonder what.
Little did you know.
Yeah. And I was just like, I'll see what this is about, and had a long chat with Liam, and he really connected with me in the sense of like, he just basically told me what I was feeling there and then. And I was like, I've been feeling like this for years, since my dad fell over. And he's like, well, something's got to change, because if you go down this route, it's only going to get worse and not better. And that's why that's why I joined the program. That's why I'm here. And that's why I'm still in the Brotherhood. And that's why I strive to be better now, because I needed to make that change there and then, or I was going nowhere. I mean, it was really sad times to affairs. I was so worked up about my life that I was destroying it from inside. Like, my girlfriend of 2 years just decided to up and leave. My family were ignoring me. My staff didn't think I was nice to work for. It was a really stressful time.
Wow.
So yeah. Looking back on it in hindsight, generally I was not a very good person. Like, I don't know what life I was living, but it wasn't a fun one. I'll give you
Mm.
that. Yeah.
So what have been the shifts in mindset? Because just to, paint the other side of the picture, which you're doing, a couple of years ago, you posted a picture in the Brotherhood, didn't you? You paid off all the debt, which was a couple of £1 million worth of debt, which is huge.
Yeah.
You've forexed the business over the past
it.
12 months, taking it from 34k a month to 34k a week. You're losing weight. You are working less. You're taking vacations. Like, wasn't your mum quite worried at first? Yeah, 4 holidays this year. So there's been it's like night and day. What you've been through, and even to the point whereby the girlfriend that actually left you is now saying, "Huh, you're going away again."
Yeah, exactly.
You're going on holiday again.
I think she was speaking to me yesterday, and she was just like, "You're off tonight again. Like, that's your 3rd night off this week." And I was like, "So what? I don't need to be there." Yeah, I finished work last night and went out for steak night. I managed to make a date. You know what I mean? So, how cool.
Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, sorry.
Go for it.
My there's a couple of things that I have done in myself coming through the program and to the activation method, and I realized that one, I figured out who I really am, which is a really quite beautiful thing, and where I want to be within myself, and generally hold myself to accountable standards to that. Whereas like, if I am tired, I'm tired. You know what I mean? Like, I need to rest. I need to recharge my body. I need to make sure that I'm committed to doing that within myself. And then I need to, or however, that day I need to work. I need to work for an hour or two and get that done. And I hold myself to a high standard, making sure I complete that, because then I know the rest of my time is free. You know what I mean? So there's different techniques that I work on in that mindset. Every morning I wake up, I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, right, who am I today? Am I a tired Lee? Okay. Do I need to go back to bed? Am I a Lee that can do exercise? Yes, I'm a Lee that can do exercise today. But I hold myself to that standard that I have to complete my certain accountability to myself straight away. Because if I don't do that, then it's just a mess. I mean, I was sitting, like, for example, I used to sit for an hour and a half on social media in the morning. Complete waste of time. Complete waste of time in life. You sit there and you stare at your phone, you scroll up Facebook back and forth, down, up and down. You read the same post about 6 times. You go home. Should I comment? Should I not? Whatever. All bullshit, right? But
except for this, right?
Yeah, except for the powerful man. Yeah, like every post, guy. But no, I was saying that now I get up in the morning. I have a routine where I get up at 6, half 6, and I start my day with different techniques. So some days I do meditation, some days I do yoga, some days I just get up. I need more sleep. However, I decide on that day, and I hold myself accountable to what I do that day. I also do different things, like I make certain task lists of what I want to do that day. I make sure I complete them. And then I'm not talking about work tasks. I'm talking about life tasks. Like, do I have to do the washing? Do I have to make sure the dishes are done for the girl? Do I have a date night tonight? Do I have whatever in the group? And that's the task for the day. You know what I mean? You've got to complete them, but you've got to hold yourself to that kind of standard to make sure that you do it.
I think as well, something that I heard you say there, and correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the big mindset shifts for you is moving away from self-sacrifice. So operating out of obligation, thinking that, okay, well, I should do this or I need to do that. And as a result, working 60, 70 hours a week, sacrificing what you really want, almost wanting success too much to the point where you were squeezing the life out of it, and you were just not in a position whereby you could even let it flow. Hence why you then go into your business, you're uptight and you're angry, resenting it, and then obviously you're short-tempered with your staff, and then, you start to put on weight because you go to bed later, you're stressed, you eat shit, because then you're running on willpower, aren't you? You're relying on willpower to get through your day, which isn't a position in which you want to be making big moves in business from, big decisions in business that are going to result in, millions of pounds.
Yeah, exactly that. There's definitely a shift in my complete mindset that was pretty much a 180, where I was looking at like, what do I love to do today? What do I really love to do today that doesn't involve me stressing? It doesn't involve me sacrificing anything of my time, my energy, or anything. What can I do today to make it just a fuck yes day, really? You know what I mean?
I was speaking to Ryan. I had Ryan on here a few weeks ago, and Ed, and Ryan was saying the same thing. His marriage turned around. Went from almost getting divorced and in marriage counselling and barely having sex to now, obviously, last night his wife dragging him into the bedroom because she can't keep her hands off.
Oh, that's a beautiful story. Beautiful story.
It is, and he said the same thing. He moved into this place of really putting his needs first and really leading himself personally. And when he then was leading himself personally, that then meant that his cup was overflowing. So he was able to make bigger and better decisions in his business much easier and faster. His whole leadership style has changed. And because his needs were being met by him first and foremost, it then made things a lot easier in other areas of his life as well.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I mean, I talk to Ryan pretty much every day, and I think he's a beautiful man. But he and myself we had this conversation the other day, like shit just seems to be happening. You know what I mean? Like just happening good way, just because we were just like, I think it's because I genuinely agree with you. We were looking after ourselves, and people are going, oh, he's got something here. I'll listen to him, or I'll buy from him, or I'll be there with him because he knows what he's talking about. You know what I mean? And it's really quite special.
Yeah,
and I see that now. More people are coming towards me, even asking for advice, or even just generally chatting. Or I'm more approachable, definitely by far, biggest one. But and it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, right? If if someone walks into a room to sell you something, and he's dressed all smart and he's looking sharp and he's smiling and he's confident and he's speaking well, and versus somebody walking into the room who's tired, looks exhausted, his energy's low, he may be wearing the same type of clothes, but it's a completely different energy. Who are you going to be more likely to buy from? You're going to be way more likely to buy from the guy that's exuding confidence than the guy that looks like shit and is so tired and burnt out. And Omar, for example, he went to Dubai, showed the same collection to the same people that he showed 12 months previous. But because 12 months previous, he walked in there lacking confidence, exhausted, anxious, burnt out. They didn't buy from him. They literally said, look, don't call us, we'll call you. 12 months on, same people, same collection, same Omar. Well, very different Omar, but Omar nevertheless, and walked out of there with a six-figure deal, right? So, in terms of your staff, it's no surprise that before the productivity in the company will have been, so the productivity has gone up, right? I imagine. You said that the other week, right?
Yeah, I was saying that when actually the standard of food, one, in terms of me showing up as a leader, as we're going to get onto, because I'm resting, I'm making sure my staff are rested, and we are doing something completely different in the workplace where we're like barely only work like 45 hours maximum. The guys that actually work there full time, and the productivity of the food and all that has gone skyrocket.
Wow!
And people are loving it. Sorry, my mother was just trying to get into the room there. Sorry. Hello, mother. I was just like, what's going on? Yeah, so, yeah, hi. Can't think what I was going to say there. I don't live with my mother, guys.
Productivity.
Yeah, so they're all rested because I'm rested. I'm making smart decisions in terms of pricing, smart decisions in terms of staffing, smart decisions in terms of what we're selling. Suddenly we're growing. We're growing faster than we've ever grown in our whole entire life. And then we've been open 3 years. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So, and I agree with what you're saying. We had a conversation a while ago, and it is to do with me. It's to do with where I want to go. I've got more clarity of what I want the place to be. I've communicated down the line. I've said I don't want to work this many hours. So my staff said, well, either do we, but we can do this for you and you do that for you, and you don't need to be here. I mean, it was beautiful the other day. They actually told me to go home. They were like, go. You're doing nothing. Go. What are you going to do? Stand here for a couple hours? It's like, all right, see ya. There we go.
That's amazing, right?
Yeah, compared to I had to be there
Culture.
day in, day out. I was there for 2 years. I mean, day in, day out. I was even there when we were closed. I was there cleaning. I was doing this. I was doing that. And now I'm like, all right, what can I do next?
And the business is growing quicker now than it was then, right?
Completely, completely. And I mean, like, we're talking about logistically 34K a month to 34K a week. You know what I mean? That is 2017 to 2018 to 2019. You know what I mean? Where there's just a
Wow.
massive change.
And
Yeah.
it's a big paradigm shift, is this for anyone listening? Because a lot of the messages that we're hearing in personal development space and some through social media tell us that in order to make more money or to have more success, whatever, you've got to work harder, you've got to sacrifice, and there's something we talk about a lot, isn't there? Being one destination and two paths. The one destination is the success that you desire. And the two paths is the path of force, which you were on in 2018, or the path of power, which you're on in 2019. And it's a very different place to be. The path of force is one of really squeezing every last drop and coming from a place where you were really trying to desperately grab onto what you want. It's a place of proving. It's a place of insecurity. It's a place of busyness more than anything. So many men, and you'll know this to be true, come into the program saying that I feel like I'm a busy fool. Like, the day ends and I don't even know what I've done. Whereas the path of power is a path of knowing. You know your value. You're confident in where you're going and your vision. You are able to be calm and you effortless and you're inspired. It's like the 80-20 when you're in that space, because you cannot make your biggest and best decisions in business when you're uptight and stressed. Nobody can, right? So
Right.
in order to introduce the decisions and the structures and the products and all the rest of it that are really going to blow things up, you've got to be calm and grounded and inspired and lead, and everyone feels that around you. So, you can make money. You can, achieve certain things on the path of force, but it's going to come at a high price, as you experienced, as many men have experienced. I too. It's going to come at a high price, and it doesn't have to be that way.
No, I completely agree. I mean, look at, as I say, if I'm a prime example, I lost my dad lived in the path of force all his life, and it cost him it. It cost him. He can't speak, and he's half mobile. It's crazy. And that was one of the conscious choices of why I changed and I needed to go onto a different path, because it's not fun. It's certainly not fun. Guys, when your world's crumbling around you. There's a reason for it. It doesn't have to be that way, but there's a reason that it's happening, because you're on this path where you're trying to hustle, you're tired, you're going home, you're snapping at your wife or your girlfriend. You don't even know what's going on because you're sitting looking at a computer screen thinking that you're pretending to do business, but you're not even doing it. You're just there. You're just not. You're on autopilot. It's crazy. Whereas now, like, conscious decisions every day about what you do in your life and your mentality and in your you know in your business and in your wealth. It's really great and very thankful. I just love it. I really do. And I love this version of me. I think it's just fantastic. Same with the guys I speak to, like the guys in the Brotherhood. Like, I love them. They're just so positive. They're taking on life. Yeah, we have our down moments, down days. We're human. Let's not kid ourselves. But it's fantastic to have a group to share like that, and we get there together. So yeah. I love it.
So what advice would you give to, if the Lee of 2018 was, if you had a chance to go back there and give him some advice, almost like, wake up moment, what would you say to him?
2018 Lee, I would say, one, it's okay for help. You don't need to do this alone. Two, slow down and realize what is actually going on. You know what I mean? Because if you're at this fast hustle pace all your time and you're speeding through life, you're missing it. You're literally missing it. So slow down and start enjoying life because it's very short. And take the vacations if you can take the vacations. Take the moments that you need to take. And, it's not all about work. It's not all about that kind of life. Yeah, there's times to make money. There's times not. Might not be successful next year, but hey ho, you've had a good run. Life's too short. Live it.
I think the important thing here as well, it's easy to look at you and think, oh, overnight success, But first of all, you've been on this journey for 9 months. Is it?
Mm-hmm. 9, yeah. Well, 9,
yeah,
10 months. Yeah. It'll be a year next month. Yeah, next month. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you've been on the journey for quite some time. And, it takes time to create significant changes in your life, changes that really solidify lasting change as well, right? So it's not just like this quick fix thing that you get a result temporarily, then you end up back at the same point. It takes time to build and build and build. And, again, another saying we have in The Powerful Man, and something you touched on then, is the journey is the destination. Because so often as business owners, entrepreneurs, we can get into the habit of telling ourselves that, all right, but when I hit this goal, when I get to 1 million or when I get to 10 million or whatever the goal is, when I get there, then everything will be easy. That's when I'll relax. That's when I'll take my foot off the gas. That's when everything will just fall into place and I'll be able to take more time off and be a more present father and be in the relationship I desire and whatever it is. But we all know that that point in time never arrives because there's always the next thing. There's always the next project. There's always the next goal because that's the nature of the beast. That's who we are as entrepreneurs. We're always going to be improving. It's literally part of your identity. So the sooner you're able to realize that and embrace it, like you were just saying, it completely changes the dynamic. And it collapses time as well because those milestones that you were trying to hit and trying too hard to hit, and they were coming at such a price in your relationship and in your health, they then start to happen much faster and with much less effort. And that's what you were alluding to a moment ago, like almost kind of laughing with the other guys, like, shit, it's like you've got a cheat code, like when you used to play on the computer as a kid, enter this cheat code and you will go to level 10. It's kind of like you got a cheat code.
I agree. It's like, I know how we play we play our 90-day game that we always play. We usually achieve it in like a month and a half. And we're like, oh crap. You know what I mean? Because we're focused on this. Yeah, exactly. Now what? So what can you do?
So what advice would you give to any guys that are watching this, businessmen, that are in a similar position to where you were? They've got big ambitions, big goals. Maybe they're coming home on a night. The girlfriend just wants them to take the dog for a walk. Too busy. Yeah, you know that one. Too busy, maybe shouting, snapping at the kids. And they are hoping that, one day when they achieve that thing, everything will become easier. What advice would you give that guy?
Well, as you said before, it's like when you're reaching for that goal of it's going to be easier when this happens, that goalpost keeps moving, keeps going until such times as you go, oh crap, my wife left me, but I'll get her back when I this, that, and this. That's not going to happen. It's it's just something you've created, and it's definitely not going to happen. So my advice would be that, again, when I'm talking about the moments, like if your wife wants you home for dinner, even though you're too busy, make sure you turn up. Again, there's a guy, and Matt talks to me about how he goes to bed with his wife every time, no matter what he's doing. 1 o'clock, if his wife's going to bed, he goes to bed with her. You know what I mean? Be present, be there, be part of that, because that's the real journey. You know what I mean? That's the real fun of it. There's always someone else to help you along the business side. You know what I mean? There's always someone to, make it better. And there's always knowledge. We live in a world of knowledge now. So, and it's absolutely tremendous. You can access it from pretty much anywhere. I mean, I'm reading more books than I've ever read in my life. You know what I mean? So I would say, slow down and really reevaluate what you're doing. And then if you find that you're hustling and you're working 60, 70 hours a week and you are, snapping at your wife, or you're not making a home for dinner in time, that can be changed. You just need to find out how. Be different and find out how. Yeah.
I mean, it can be quite scary being in that position because, for so long you have been telling yourself and operating in a certain way that it's almost like, holy shit, but what if more? But you're telling me to work less. So, it's that fear of taking the foot off the gas that they're almost going to go backwards, right?
Mm-hmm. To that, I would say the one thing that you said to me is that, one, you're not put in this world to struggle by any means. That sentence changed my life. And two, if it slips back down after you put your foot off the gas, then there's a reason for that, and you'll find a different solution. Definitely will. I mean, I can take time off now because I put a manager in place that I know, love, and trust. And if there's a problem, he'll phone me. He generally doesn't. He tries to solve it first, and then he'll phone me and tell me, "Oh, I had this problem, but I solved it." I'm like, "Oh, great! So you're phoning me just to tell me?" And he's like, "Yeah." Instead, before I'd be like, "I have to fix this."
That's the mentality. That's the mentality. The mentality that keeps you working those longer hours is no one can do it as good as me. I've got to fix this. And if I let people do it, and it's like you don't trust other people to do it as well, isn't it? Like it's this living in fear that, holy fuck, I've got to grow the business and make this money. And if I let them do it and they're not going to do as good a job and we're going to lose money and everything will come crashing down. But it's this, this fear that drives you in that state. And then obviously you can't delegate as well. Your staff then, if you train your staff to constantly, not take ownership because you're going to step in, then what they're going to do? They're not going to develop. They're going to step back. And you're going to create this cycle for yourself where everyone knows that Lee will come and save the day. So what's the 100%. Point in me doing anything?
Exactly. No matter what, Lee will be there because he takes control of it anyway. So what's the point of me? I'm just turning up for the paycheck. You know what I mean? And then the difference I had now to then was I was exactly that guy. I was so much control on my business. I was actually damaging it because I wouldn't let anyone make any decisions. I wouldn't let anyone even purchase anything without me knowing, that kind of stuff.
Wow.
It was so, once I let go of all that, suddenly things started happening. People started making decisions, whether they're right or wrong. They started making some stuff. They started taking care of other businesses that I just didn't have any time to take care of, really. I mean, and I didn't really want to do it anyway, and these guys were screaming out for it. So I was like, cool. Like some people take care of my social media now, some people take care of my front of house. I've got my kitchen staff all sorted. I mean, the last time I cooked in the kitchen was 3 weeks ago, just for fun.
Was that the Alpha Reset?
I was there.
Was that the Alpha Reset? I think your headphones might have gone off because it went quiet then when you were talking.
Yeah, sorry, I think the battery is low. Crap.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, the Alpha Reset when I was the chef. Yeah, that was fun.
Lee cooked some amazing food as well. But here's the thing: to get to this point that you were at, I mean, it's easy to sit here and say, "Hey guys, you've got to let go of control. You've got to trust other people. You've got to let people do things and delegate better and so on, so you can be home for your wife, prioritize, get your life in order, prioritize." But in order to get to that point, I'd probably say, those shifts are probably the third and the fourth and the fifth level. In order to get to that point, the first two shifts really are all about, you as a person. You've got to shift that belief system that's been running your life. Just like, your iPhone, right? You have certain software on your iPhone, it performs a certain way. And then, you get an update through and the iPhone changes, it becomes faster, it gets new apps on it, it can hold more. It's the same with you and the other men, right? You've got to update your software in order to give you the foundation on which you're then able to add these tools, these extensions, if you will. Because otherwise, without that foundation, you can't handle it, you can't cope.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's a challenge. Don't get me wrong, it is a challenge. But your game of life. The best thing you learn is you make the rules. So if you want to level up and be the successful person, you got to find the way you do it for you. Exactly. So if you work nonstop, you wear yourself out, and you don't have time for the gym, you don't have time to do anything you love, really, then what's the point?
Some of the guys don't even know what they love. They've become so disconnected with their life and just everything been about work that, they just lose touch with, well, shit, what do they even love to do anymore? Everything becomes this.
That was me, Tim. Remember, you asked me, when was the last time you had some fun? And I was what? And you were like, well, tell me what you do outside of work. And I could not answer. I could. And I was just like, oh shit. And he was like, what, you don't go out for a walk, 10-minute walk, you don't even do that? I was like, no. I said, I've just been working for the last 2 years. And I remember your exact reaction was, shit. Like, oh God, what have I done? And I realized, I was like, to look back, you just weren't doing it. I just wasn't doing it. And I play piano. I'm sitting right here on my piano, and I haven't, I wasn't even touching it. It would gather dust.
Plays a tune.
Hey, no.
Why?
No, does.
Come on, Lee. Have some fun. Come on, be spontaneous. Guys, put in the comments if you want Lee to play as a tune.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. I don't know.
Here we go. I had Lee down at my uncle's 70th birthday a few weeks ago, and he was on the karaoke. He had a great voice.
Yeah, we sung Backstreet Boys, didn't we? See, I can't be bothered. There we go.
Come on!
No, that's it. I will play a Facebook Live when I perfected it. I'm just learning again. It's all good.
There you go, brother. You play the piano, I'll play the...
Yeah. We'll do it together. Pick a tune and we'll play a song together.
We'll start... Mike's saying yes, you have to. Stuart, they want a tune, Lee. Well, Brian's going to start a band. So Brian, do it on the drums. You can be on the piano. I'll be on the guitar.
Yes.
That'd be...
Oh, sorry. I'm just getting all this here now. Yeah.
Yeah, go on then.
The drums, man.
He's dodging the question, guys. Dodging the question. I thought you were a powerful man, Lee.
I am, but yeah. Anyway.
Powerful man that doesn't play the guitar. So, Mr. Jack, as we're rounding this up, any advice you want to give any men that, you know, are watching this that maybe they've been thinking about coming to the Alpha Reset for, you know, quite some time, maybe not. But regardless, anyone that's sat watching this in a similar position to you, you know, what advice would you give them? I know you've already touched on this a little bit, so
the thing I learned when I joined up, I was down it. I must admit, there was times where I was like, should I, shouldn't I? I was on the fence. I think it was the third call to Liam, and he was like, look, man, either one or you don't. And then my feeling that I had there was that I need to make a change, you know. So if you feel that call for that moment where you go, fuck, this is not for me anymore, then that is what I suggest you do. You find something like this or your own program, don't get me wrong, but
do this.
This is pretty but and you also get some really good food at the Alpha Reset. But I suggest if you feel it in you and you need, because you know, guys, let's be honest, you know that you wake up one day and you go, this is not for me anymore. Because, you know, you're tired, you're exhausted, you're snapping at your wife. It took for a big moment with me that, you know, where the girl that I really loved just decided just to leave. You know what I mean? And the guys that we work with, well, just off the last stuff, Reset, were saying, I think she's going to leave. You know what I mean? And I was like, well, this is, you're in the right place to make the change now, because I was too late. But I made the change anyway. You know what I mean? So if you know this feeling of, you know, sadness, or, you know, your life's going nowhere, then make the change, guys. Why not? What have you got to lose? Yeah.
And if you think she's gonna leave or she might leave, then holy shit, you make the change. Because the thing with women is usually they don't give the signs that they're gonna leave or even say they're gonna leave until they have left emotionally. You know, women are very different to guys. Women will go and, you know, check out the divorce lawyers and look at the likelihood of them, you know, getting custody and where they'll live, and, you know, you moving out and where you could possibly live and how much that would cost you and if it's affordable and how much money they'll get. And, you know, they do a lot of research before getting to the point of saying, hey, Lee, I'm out. This isn't working for me. I want a divorce. You know, so just do not get to that point. Doug and I did a podcast this week on, you know, paying attention to the warning signs. One of the guys at the Alpha Reset, he came home one day. There was a letter on the table with his wife's handwriting on it, addressed to him, and he opened it, and it was the divorce papers. And he joined the program hoping to get her back. But by that point, she'd gone. You know, he'd ignored the times when she said, look, can you just be home for dinner? Can you just get off your phone? Can you just pay me attention? Can you just, you know, whatever? And what made it worse is what made it worse was that, you know, he'd make time for his daughter, but he wouldn't make time for his wife. So to her, she could see that, hang on a minute, he can do it for the daughter, but he's not doing it for me. So, you know, why is that? Does he not want to be with me? You know, so that guy's now got to deal with his wife now dating somebody else, and obviously that man been around his daughter. He's got the tools to deal with it better than he would have had before, but, you know, that's not a position. That's the position you want to avoid. You know, if you can, for sure. And just like Lee's saying here, you know, you can see the practical applications to business. It's not, you know, Lee's an amazing man and he's achieved some great things. And as you know, brother, there's so many other men as well in the brotherhood that have also achieved great things. It's not like you're an anomaly. It happens routinely. And it happens when you stay on the path. You know, they often say the Alpha Reset is just the beginning. It happens when you stay on the path and you surround yourself with a group of men that are committed to a similar thing, to a similar mission as you, and are going to hold you to a higher standard. And sometimes you've just got to borrow belief from people who see something in you that sometimes you may not always see in yourself. And it's in those moments that you're able to borrow that belief and really make a change. And I think for you, and what men have told me in the past, is that usually in their immediate circle, they've just got a lot of other men that are operating in the same way, right? Other guys that are working long hours and, finishing work on a Friday, going down the pub and meeting up and drinking their sorrows away, or complaining about their relationship or whatever. So it almost becomes your norm, although each of those will secretly go home and, be wondering, is this as good as it gets? Is this really what life is about? And that's when they start turning to porn and secretly watch it. Don't tell each other and don't tell anyone else. Secretly rely on porn and turn to alcohol and then start to feel ashamed and go through the agonies, just like you did. But there's another way, there's another path where you can surround yourself with other men that completely shift your standard and shift your perspective on things. And you will not go back. You'll never go back.
I don't want to.
I know you won't. It's like being unplugged from the Matrix and,
It's like the red pill, the blue one.
Yeah.
Also, I was speaking like that, just when you speak at a higher level, I thought about the one guy we know we were talking about in the Brotherhood, beautiful man. But he just put on and he was like, I feel ashamed today, guys, because I feel like these negative energies are coming back where I need to look at porn, not give my wife attention. And we all jump on and we're like, Luke, man, you're a great man. We need to talk about this one-to-one or whatever and see how you're feeling. And he just went in and he booked a vacation with his wife. And, he's just come back yesterday and he's like, yeah. And he sorted his crap out, so good.
You've got to have a place whereby you can share openly without judgment and get feedback from other men that you respect and admire that are also either maybe a step ahead of you or, on a similar path to you. It's absolutely key. I know when I was on the path of force, my life was not enjoyable at all. I used to pride myself on how many hours I could work. Like literally, I can remember getting in bed one night after working, it was about 18 hours. And I laid there, hands behind my head, feeling so smug, feeling really successful because I'd been able to persevere and tolerate an 18-hour day. But, really? So it was a big shift for me, moving to the other path. But for me, the breaking point came where I was looking around my life and everything was a complete pattern of stress and struggle and sacrifice. My relationship was just in tatters and I didn't want to be with the woman and I was engaged to get married to her. My business was just, again, I was getting robbed of tens of thousands in a business deal I just never should have gone into. I went into it out of desperation. My health was so up and down. I'd use drugs on a weekend. I'd turn to alcohol, all sorts. It was crazy. It was crazy. So, there is another way, and I'm so pleased that, I think it was about 6 years ago, maybe 34. Yeah, 6 or 7 years ago, I said no more. No fucking way. Bang. Line drawn. No, not doing this anymore. No, I'm better than this. I deserve better. I know better. And one of the key moments for me, Lee, I met one of my very good friends now. He was younger than me. Well, he still is younger than me. Working his business online, helping more people, earning more money, doing it from anywhere in the world. And I was like, holy shit, I am doing something wrong. Like, he prided himself on freedom. I prided myself on hustle. Yeah. He, was, everything. It was just the real wake-up moment for me. It arrived just at the right time, at the same time as all this other chaos was going on. So, yeah.
So, I felt like this arrived at the same right time because it would have gone a horrible wrong way if not.
Yeah, I suppose
I was down a path where I was self-destructing completely. I was drinking every night.
I wasn't even showing up really. I was showing up to work, but I was never there. I was never actually like, what are we doing today, guys? It's just like, whatever. You know what I mean? Different world now, completely different world. But again, you're right what you're saying. I want that. I want the freedom, and I'm making that happen, and that's the difference.
How many vacations this year?
Yes, I've been on 4.
Ooh, 4. Nice.
More down
Awesome.
to the year.
You went down to what?
2 more down to Wales by the end of the year, and then hopefully skiing in December. So going away for New Year, first time in 11 years.
Wow, that's incredible. And Leon's a restaurant for you guys that don't know. So obviously that's a busy time of year.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, guys, if you're watching this and any of this resonates and you want to find out more about the Alpha Reset and how it might help you, then head over to thepowerfulman.com/freedom. You can book in a clarity call there with myself, in fact. Take 20 minutes to find out where you are, where you want to be, what you need to get there. And if at the end of it is something we can help you with, then we'll progress things. If not, that's fine. We'll point you in the direction of someone or somewhere that can help you. Because the important thing is that you just don't stay where you are. Just do not stay where you are, because, well, it's impossible to stay where you are. You're either going to continue to go backwards or forwards. You're not going to stay where you are. That's the reality.
But go forward. Go forward. Anyway,
yes. I would say that too. If you want to reconnect with your wife, if you want to grow your business and have more time off, you want to get your health back, you want to live a life that you love doing, spending more time with the people you love, it's there for you. It really is. Lee, thank you, my friend.
It's always a pleasure, Mr. Matthews.
It is. So guys, give Lee some love, whether you're watching this live or on a replay. Give some hearts, some likes, some thank yous. If you have any questions, just post them below and Lee or myself will answer them. And Lee, thank you. And I will give you a shout in a few minutes personally.
Okay, brother.
Cheers, guys.